I'd like to take a moment now and I'm going to go over some firearm, weapon related items obtained in the United States Army during World War II. As you can see here, got a couple different items that are all pertaining to firearms. What I'll be focusing on is the standard rifle that was used by the United States military during World War II, known as the M1 Garand. So let's go ahead and get everything started. What you can see right here is I'm going to start with this can right here. It's not related to the can, I digress, I'm sorry. This is a can that would have contained ammunition for the Browning machine gun, known as the M1919A4. Made of steel. As you can see, rather easy to open. What would have been contained with it was a belt of ammunition. Initially, it was made of cotton, and each cartridge would have been inserted into the belt. If I remember correctly, this, I believe, held 200 rounds. Later in the war, they decided this wasn't really efficient, had a tendency to get jammed after use, as well as dirty, and then they went to a metal clip for each round, so that as you fired it, the little metal piece would eject out, where this would just go through like this. Every time it was fired, it came out. So this particular belt would have had 100 rounds on it. I'm going to come over here to my left real quick. This is a can for the ammunition for the 50 caliber machine gun. It's a bit different from the 30 caliber can in that it opened from the side. Obviously, 50 caliber machine gun, besides being an infantry weapon, is also used in a wide variety of American aircraft during World War II. What I have right here is a cartridge, 50 caliber cartridge made in Lake City in 1942. And this is a training cartridge, so it's fake. If I remember correctly, and I'm going from memory, I believe this held 100 rounds, but I could be wrong. Didn't sleep at Holiday Inn Express recently, so I could be wrong. So there we have our 50 caliber cartridge. So the next item I'm going to go to is the standard cartridge that was used by the M1 Garand rifle. It's referred to as a 30-06 cartridge. There were various plants across the United States that manufactured ammunition during World War II. We used primarily 3 calibers, 50 caliber for your aircraft as well as your heavy machine gun, 30-06 for rifle, as well as the Browning M1919A4 machine gun, and also 45 caliber ACP for the M1911 Colt pistol, also known as the 45. Of all the plants that manufactured ammunition in the United States during World War II, the most significant was located right here in St. Louis, Missouri. It used to be over on Goodfellow Boulevard. At one point in time, there were 3 shifts working in that factory 7 days a week, with probably about 8,000 people per shift. Now, depending on where you run the numbers, it's estimated 60 to 65% of the ammunition that was shot by the United States during World War II was probably made in St. Louis, Missouri. Ammunition was labeled, and there was different types. I'm not going to go into all the different types. The most common that you found used by an infantryman was referred to as ball ammunition. When it was manufactured, it was put into a cardboard box. This particular box is from the St. Louis ordnance plant. The red label indicates that it's ball ammunition. It would have came 20 cartridges per box. They were all had a paper separator here, and I have some cartridges in this box. Now, these cartridges are similar to the 50 caliber one in that these are training cartridges. So they're not real bullets. They were to train someone on how to insert it into your rifle, have it go forward, and have it come out. How do we know it's a training cartridge? Glad you asked that question. There's a hole right here on the side. Another variant on training cartridges is there's a series of ridges that were stamped into the body to tell you it was for training. The other rifle that was used by the Americans during World War II was called the Springfield, a 1903 Springfield. And on that one, the way you would load it was you would take the cartridges out of the box, and you had a little piece of metal. It was called stripper clip. And what you had to do is press 5 cartridges on the stripper. I'm only going to do 2. When you're finished, you then put it into your cartridge belt. There's another item I did on American Field Equipment, and I went into detail on the cartridge belt. When we adopted the Springfield, the M1 Garand rifle, we made a change to the cartridge belt, and that was this little piece right here. And the reason for it was that it would allow you to put the ammunition for the Springfield rifle in there, and then clip it over to hold the belt. And I'll be going over how the Garand ammunition went in that belt here in just a moment. So, in addition to coming in the boxes like this, would have come in a wooden crate. For the Garand ammunition, things are a little bit simpler. Also came in a wooden crate. What was distinctive about it is it came in an item that was called a bandolier. It's made of cotton. It contained 48 rounds of ammunition. The M1 Garand was similar to the stripper clip in that what you did is you opened up the wooden crate, you would have grabbed one of these, or as many as you needed, thrown it over your shoulder like that, as many as you needed. And then what you would do is open that flap and pull out your clip of ammunition. There's 8 cartridges on here, but you didn't have to do anything. All you had to do was pull it out. The next step was you took it out of your bandolier, you inserted it into your cartridge belt. You can obviously see it's a lot faster than using the Springfield ammunition. You clipped it down. So obviously, a trained American infantryman could take it out of there, put it in there, pouch by pouch, in probably a minute. When you needed the ammunition, you opened your pouch, you pulled it out, you put it in the Garand, you fired it. This particular piece, the M-block clip, was not intended to be reused. So after you fired your 8 shots, you'd eject it out of the rifle. You just picked up another one out of your bandolier, out of your cartridge belt, from the bandolier, and proceeded. Now, why was the United States able to do that? Well, we're the arsenal of democracy. We could afford it. Great stuff. This particular box here would have contained ammunition for the 45 caliber pistol. It would have had 50 cartridges in it, just like this one. When you open it up, it has a series of separators. So you would pull each cartridge out, put it in the magazine of the pistol. It held 7 rounds. That one you did have to load by itself. It didn't come preloaded on a magazine or on a clip like this. So next item I'm going to come over here are some items pertaining to the cleaning and maintenance of your weapon. Goes without saying that if you're an infantryman, your rifle's really important. Why? The lives of others, as well as your life, depends on the proper operation and maintenance of your weapon. What I have here are some items that were used to maintain the M1 Garand rifle. The first item right here is a cleaning kit. It was made so that if you wanted to, you could attach it to your belt. In practice, most guys threw this into this bag here, this set bag. It had these components. And what you would do, when it came time to clean your rifle, and obviously I don't have time to go over the procedures of cleaning the M1 Garand, you put the sections together. And then you would have had a series, they were called patches, simple pieces of cotton, white cotton. You'd fold it, stick it to the end here. Now, to actually clean the barrel of your rifle, you use something that was called, well, let me see if I can find it here, bore cleaner, right here. So what you would have done is you would have opened this little can, you would have put some in here, you would have inserted this into the barrel of your rifle at the end of it, you would have continued to pull it out, pull it out, pull it out, repeat process, changing these pads until they came out white, clean, with no dirt on them. And of course, you just threw this away. If it had been some time, which hopefully it wasn't, and you had to clean your rifle, it was also a brass brush that you could screw on the end of this. The military term is fouling. You push that down your barrel, get the fouling out of there, and then you would go back to the cotton pouch. The other tool right here for the M1 Garand was a tool that you use to take the rifle apart. I'm not going to go into all the pieces of the tool, but the most significant one here is it was a combination screwdriver, and it was used to take apart something on the end of the rifle that was called a gas plug. I'm not going to go into details on it. This brush is very significant. It's called a chamber brush. So what this brush was used to do was to clean the part of the weapon that the in-block clip went into. The military term, it's called the receiver. So what you would have done to remove the bolt from the rifle, you would have taken this tool, put it in there into your receiver. You would ratchet it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, pull it out, run your swabs through it until it came out absolutely clean. Once you've completed all that, you have a can of oil to then oil your weapon, all the metal parts on it, because you didn't want rust. Now, the bottle of oil as well as the chamber cleaner were both designed so that if you wanted to, they went right to your cartridge belt. Now, in practice, even though it was designed that way, you didn't do it. Why? Because if you used the oil in that, you lost 2 clips of ammunition. So, and besides, keep your weapon clean, this is a little bit more important. In my opinion, and I haven't seen anything, many of the World War II veterans I spoke with, I didn't ask them this question, but personally, if I had to carry this cleaning kit and those 2 cans of oil, I would have put it in my Lucette bag. The reason being, there's a little pocket right here on the side, and those items would fit in there perfectly. Last time I like to go over these two. And this, if you didn't have your cleaning rod, this is you had a piece in here. It was made of steel with a cloth piece that you could drop down the barrel. You would pull through the barrel of your rifle and clean it. It would do the same operation of this. There was also a container here that if you didn't have the can of oil, it contained the oil. There's also another piece that if you didn't have, gave it the rifle additional protection, is a little tube of grease. What's distinctive about these items right here, your tool, the tub of grease, the oil, your cleaning bit here, and those patches, well, those actually would fit into a hole that was on the bottom of the Garand rifle. So you actually did have a cleaning kit with it. It was contained within the rifle, but the preferred method of cleaning it was to use all these items here. In summary, what I have over here are some slings that would have been used on the Springfield rifle as well as the Garand. Going back to World War I with the M1903 Springfield rifle, the sling was made of leather. It had some brass fittings on it so that you could pull the brass fitting back and adjust it on the belt, the sling, to the length that you needed. When the war started, this was also used for the Garand, but it was determined that it was a bit expensive to make. So for the Garand, they went to a much simpler thing, made of cotton, had a little clip right here that went on the bottom of the rifle, it snapped right on, and then you had a slide here. You'd lift to the adjusted length that you needed, you put it down, and you're ready to go. So that's a very quick overview of some items pertaining to ordnance and obviously ammunition, and then how it was used with the cartridge belt. as used by the American infantrymen in World War II.